Hold on, did Camron actually just reveal everything about Jim Jones and Chrissy Layman in court? Yes, you read correctly. In a single flashy moment, Camron completely destroyed your preconceived notions about these two individuals. A notorious rapper with a track record of dubious activities is now facing severe repercussions as a result of an astounding discovery regarding his relationship with Chrissy Lumpkin. This revelation is about to come to light. What really transpired in that courtroom? Well, it's not beautiful. Camron didn't merely spread rumors. He planted a bombshell that may destroy careers. Jim Jones has long been associated with controversy, but now the Chrissy Layman is also in the spotlight. She's caught in the center of this disaster. Will their careers end because of this, or will they somehow manage to get out of it like they always do? The hip-hop industry is known for its turmoil, betrayals, and ugly love affairs, but you won't believe what Camron revealed next. Trust me, this is greater than anything you've heard so far. Let's break this down. Jim Jones, the rapper who has always been all about the street life and gangster mindset, is now facing some real heat. And the world has been the courtroom was buzzing, and you could almost hear the whispering as Camron took the stand. You could see the tension, and you were left in complete disbelief because Camron just revealed everything. Between the two former members of Dipset, for those of you who may have missed it, let's go back in time a bit. Jim Jones and Camron were once the ultimate rap team, but as we all know, even the strongest relationships eventually break down, and Chrissy Layman is a prime example of this. Don't get me wrong, Chrissy Layman isn't only Jim Jones' accomplice, she's been involved in a number of scandals, and her name has been involved in the drama from the beginning. But when Camron surprised the judge, it wasn't only about Jim Jones. Rather, it was about revealing the network of lies and treachery that had been seething beneath the surface for years. Camron provided the most candid response to the subject regarding Chrissy Layman's dubious involvement in Jim Jones' affairs. Was she merely the obliging girlfriend, or was there anything much more sinister going on behind closed doors? Incendiary manner conceivable, and the accusations are far worse than anyone could have predicted. However, before we get into that, let's examine the history of all this chaos. Jim Jones has a reputation, right? Chrissy Layman has been at his side throughout it all, leaving her own legacy. He has built his career on scandal and street credibility. You don't rise to the top by being clean-cut and following the rules. Most famous for her appearance on Love and Hip Hop, where her ride-or-die attitude was captured on camera non-stop. But is that really who she is? Or is there something darker and more sinister hiding in the background? They have portrayed themselves as a power couple for years. But what if this whole image has been a front? Camron is now exploring that question, and I promise you that the answer isn't pretty. Let's set the after years of being silent. Camron finally decided to take the stage, and according to unnamed sources, he didn't hold back. I should also add that Camron was prepared. Camron apparently had access to Jim Jones' private correspondence with Chrissy Layman, and what he discovered was nothing less than shocking. Camron's revelation that Chrissy Layman had been heavily involved in some dubious actions during the height of Jim Jones' career was astounding. By dubious, I mean things that may ruin their reputation. We're discussing illicit actions, money laundering, secret meetings with underhanded people, you name it. However, it's not just about what they did. What's really shocking is how they've been able to cover it up all these years. Camron just spilled the beans on that. You know, Jim Jones has always kept his business affairs private. He's made millions and maintained a clean public image, but behind the scenes there's been an entirely different realm of transactions. Camron claims to have the receipts, and his revelations in that courtroom were sufficient to cause even the most ardent admirers to reevaluate all they believe to be true about Jim Jones. And what Camron revealed will keep you up at night. We're discussing high-stakes financial games, covert relationships, and betrayals that go deeper than anyone could have predicted. Chrissy Layman, who's always been. Although Camron isn't done yet, the devoted girlfriend on the surface turns out to be far more involved in Jim Jones' dubious actions than we ever imagined. Additionally, let's not forget how Jim Jones and Chrissy Lakin have always attempted to preserve their reputation. They have always been shown as a devoted, together couple, correct? However, Camron claims that it has all been a show. In actuality, Chrissy Lakin was the mastermind of much of the drama. She has been manipulating things behind the scenes, and Camron simply pulled the curtain back. What specifically did Camron reveal in court? Was Chrissy Lakin the puppet master? The circumstance, or was it Jim Jones who was controlling everything? In any case, Camron made it apparent that the entire relationship has been based on dubious deception, manipulation, and dubious transactions. Public outrage followed the scandal's emergence, but what was Jim Jones's response? Was he prepared to fight back, or did he know it was over? What about Chrissy Lakin? How does she figure into all of this? Hold on, because things are going to become even more bizarre. Camron isn't the only one with dirt, and as the inquiry continues, more leaks are beginning to surface. Everyone wants answers, and I promise that things will only get more juicy from here. After setting the scene, we'll reveal the startling facts of how this whole mess will unfold for Jim Jones and Chrissy Lakin in the next section. Stay tuned because this story is far from done. After introducing the characters, it's time to examine the core of the controversy and the full scope of what Camron revealed in that courtroom. I can assure you that this is not your typical celebrity dispute. Rather, it's the kind of drama that we all know that Jim Jones and Camron have had problems. But when Camron entered the courtroom, the tension made you reevaluate everything you believed you knew about the characters you've been watching for years. It was evident that this wasn't just a couple of old pals airing their dirty laundry. Rather, it was about revealing years of deceit, manipulation, and shady transactions that may send Jim Jones and Chrissy Lakin to ruin. Full-on illegal conduct, I mean. Let's examine what Camron disclosed because you won't believe how much dirt he's been hiding. For those who are unaware, Jim Jones has long been a prominent figure in the rap industry, known for his connection to Dipset and his deep roots in street culture. But Camron unveiled that Jim Jones was managing a business in addition to his rap career, and this firm wasn't the type of Camron claims that Jim Jones and Chrissy Lakin were deeply involved in a multi-state money laundering scheme. They weren't simply enjoying the high life on the music industry, a business you want the world to know about industry's dime. No, they were using shell corporations to fabricate businesses in order to conceal the real source of their income. And guess who was standing next to him? Chrissy Lakin, the lady who's developed a career as the devoted, helpful girlfriend who was apparently the brains behind the whole thing. The way she played the strings behind the scenes would make anyone wonder how much we really know about our favorite reality TV stars. And the money laundering wasn't simply confined to a few dubious transactions here and there. Camron revealed receipts that demonstrated how Jim Jones and Chrissy Lakin were laundering millions of dollars by channeling funds through fake luxury goods and real estate businesses that would require a true specialist to put up. And the most startling aspect is that they have managed to keep it a secret for so long. However, Camron also brought out a number of, according to Camron, Chrissy Lakin was present for the covert meetings that Jim Jones had with infamous members of the underground world who had ties to organized crime, and she assisted him in broker deals. The degree of corruption and risky relationship they were involved in makes you wonder how deep this controversy truly goes. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lakin have always been depicted as the power couple in the news. Marriage, but despite their slick smiles and ride-or-die mentality, something was always wrong. Now, though, we're beginning to see the truth because of Camron's evidence in court. The first leaked report Camron established a comprehensive money trail. We're discussing years-old tax evasion, offshore accounts, and wire transactions. The papers indicated how Jim Jones and Chrissy Lakin would divert millions of dollars via fictitious companies and international bank accounts. But it gets worse. It seems they weren't only keeping the money hidden from the government, they were also keeping it hidden from the public and themselves. While keeping associated people in the dark to prevent any possible leaks in reality, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin were known for utilizing coercive methods to keep people in the dark, according to anonymous sources inside their camp. Quietly, Camron revealed the names of those who were reportedly intimidated by Jim Jones and his inner circle. It is now evident that their empire was founded on manipulating secrecy and instilling fear rather than just brilliance. Fans who had loved Jim Jones for years began to wonder about everything when the initial Courtroom bombshells were reported to the media. It had appeared to be a meticulously constructed picture of Camron broke everything apart when a popular rapper and his loyal girlfriend began to appear to be a house of cards. The backlash was swift, with fans and Jim Jones' exposure sparked a global trend, and fans weren't the only ones voicing their thoughts. Industry insiders, producers, and other rappers were beginning to comment as well. Some were eager to allege that Camron was merely resentful and seeking retribution in order to defend Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin. But others, particularly those who were acquainted with the underground hip-hop scene, were eager to accept the accusations. The evidence was one of the most startling responses came from Chrissy Lampkin herself in a statement that sent shockwaves over the internet. Camron wasn't just talking, he had proof, and once it went viral, there was no turning back. The tone of her reaction, rather than a sincere defense, came across as icy and defensive. She disputed the accusations and accused Camron of attempting to ruin her and Jim Jones's legacy, but it was the tone of her response that raised eyebrows. We can't say for sure, but the lack of transparency was undoubtedly worrisome now that everyone is aware of what Camron revealed. It was a long cry from the kind and caring reputation she had developed over the years. Court, the legal ramifications are only getting started. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have already been hit with numerous lawsuits, and there have been discussions about conspiracy, money laundering, and even racketeering. Federal authorities are reportedly looking into their financial transactions, and the pressure is growing. The worst part is that if the feds look into this thoroughly, there might be severe repercussions, including jail time and fines of millions of dollars. And public shame. The strain is already affecting their personal and professional lives. Jim Jones has already been observed publicly separating from Chrissy Lampkin, which has stoked rumors about their future. Will Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin remain together, or is this the start of the end for them? As the investigation goes on, it's evident that the harm has already been done. The public's faith has been destroyed, and there is no way to repair it. In the following part, we'll examine the possible consequences of this, from the media to legal action. The drama is only getting worse. Keep checking back because you won't want to miss what happens next. As the dust settles, the consequences of Camron's shocking testimony are still being felt in Jim's life, the media, and the streets. We're only beginning to explore the wide-ranging effects of this incident and how it will affect Jones and Chrissy Lampkin's futures. But there's still a lot to learn, so let's get started. Long-term effects and the severe repercussions they currently face. Let's begin by discussing the legal repercussions incurred by Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin, who recently faced multiple high-profile lawsuits after. Legal experts have responded to Camron's disclosures by pointing out that the money laundering charges alone may result in decades of jail time if found guilty. This isn't just a small legal matter they can brush under the rug, no. This is the type of case that lands people in federal jail. If the federal government begins to investigate the underworld links Camron mentioned, we'll be discussing accusations of organized crime and racketeering. The investigation into Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin has already stretched across several states, with officials searching for answers that might make this scandal even more deadly for them. At luxury real estate deals, Camron's evidence has effectively opened a floodgate of investigation from banks and commercial dealings that could connect them to broader criminal operations. Everything is now open, from holdings to offshore accounts. The more the authorities investigate, the more they will find, and this might result in serious criminal charges. Time is running out and the walls are closing in. Let's now discuss the public outrage. As a celebrity, everything you do is scrutinized, And when something like this happens to a fan, you can't simply hide behind a spokesperson's statement or a hasty apology. The harm is finished. The Ton or Jim Jones exposed hashtag went viral on social media, and memes are already taking over the internet. We've all seen the jokes, the criticism, and the public humiliation that come with a celebrity's downfall, but both Chrissy Layman and Jim Jones have spent years establishing their public personas as the ride-or-die girlfriend from Love and a respected rapper, respectively. The true problem here is the long-term harm to their companies. Fans who formerly loved them are now doubting everything they believe to be true, and celebrities who are now separating themselves from people who once praised them as inspirations or role models have stopped talking about them, and some are even abandoning them because of this controversy. You know how it goes. The more the public observes other celebrities separating themselves, the Jim Jones and Chrissy Layman's efforts to repair their reputations are becoming more difficult. It's a vicious circle of shame, estrangement, and irrelevance. In addition, their personal lives are being impacted. The relationship between Jim Jones and Chrissy Layman is currently under close investigation following Camron's bombshells in court. The formerly positive public opinion of reality TV is crucial. Their relationship, which has endured through thick and thin, is now under scrutiny. Fans are beginning to worry whether this is the end of Jim and Chrissy because of reports of adultery, money problems, and manipulation. The truth is, whether they survive as a couple or not, there's no doubt that this incident has damaged their relationship. The private drama has now become public, and they'll struggle to move past it. Altered their relationship's dynamics, and things will only grow worse from here. However, the financial consequences will be significantly greater than just personal connections and public opinion. Jim Jones and Chrissy money laundering and other alleged illicit activities have put Layman's financial world in risk. Previously, they were the embodiment of wealthy, successful celebrities living in luxury with private jets and real estate deals. Due to the actions that Camron revealed, their assets are being frozen, and if the federal inquiry results in convictions, they could very well be facing bankruptcy. These are not merely small fines. Millions of dollars in possible fines, forfeited assets, and ruined business endeavors are at stake. Should this case proceed to trial and they are found guilty, the financial fallout could be so severe that they will have to sell off their possessions, which may include their houses, businesses, and even expensive automobiles. This is a nightmare that could destroy all they have established over the years, not the Hollywood ideal they once had. Camron's testimony has already entered the mainstream media, with some outlets referring to it as the decade's biggest scandal and others speculating that it may spell the end of Jim Jones, and Chrissy Layman's career will be covered by the media at every stage of the legal disputes. And believe me when I say that the more public attention they receive, the more they will be dragged through the mud and have to deal with the public trial by fire in which every aspect of their life will be dissected and examined. Now, let's discuss what will happen next. Will Jim Jones and Chrissy Layman be able to save their personal lives and professions, or is this the Camron's testimony has already changed the course of events in their final chapter of fame, and it's difficult to see them escaping this undamaged? Their best chance is a lighter punishment in public court view, but even that now seems improbable. The truth is that this is not merely a scandal, but a cultural revolution. This type of incident changes entire businesses, making followers reevaluate their allegiance to celebrities. Jim Jones and Chrissy Layman may never be able to restore their reputations. They may never be able to return to the previous state of affairs. Their activities and even the media's portrayal of their stars should be questioned. As we conclude this inquiry, one thing is certain. Camron didn't just reveal a few nefarious secrets. He started a series of events that could have significant long-term effects. Ruined Jim Jones and Chrissy Layman's life totally, and even though the legal disputes are still ongoing, their reputations have already suffered. Will this be the last straw for this once powerful couple, or will they discover a means of escaping the devastation they caused themselves? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: they will never be the same. As a result, Jim Jones and Chrissy Layman have been fully exposed. The consequences of this controversy is only getting started. The court cases, the public outcry, and the financial catastrophe they are experiencing are all unfolding more quickly than anyone could have anticipated. However, the truth is that we have no idea how far this will go. This story is far from ended, and believe me, we'll be right here to break it all down for you. Now, I want to hear what you think. Are there any secrets hiding in the shadows? Are there any other celebs involved? If you think Jim Jones and Chrissy Lennon will somehow escape this without getting hurt, please share your opinions in the comment section below. Trust me, this isn't just their situation. Everyone's tale is the real one, out there, and we're only beginning. Remember to like this video. Sign up to receive more exclusive exposés. To ensure you don't miss any, press that bell. Of the exciting information we will be revealing next, we will delve further into the scandals. You won't see it anyplace else.